Lesson 7.5, Solving a System of Equations by Elimination. Adding or subtracting the equations in a linear system produces equivalent linear systems. This means that they're linear systems that are equal. Okay. We use this property to solve a linear system by first eliminating or getting rid of one variable by adding or subtracting the two equations. This is called solving by elimination. Okay, example 1. Solve the following system by elimination. So the first thing we're going to do is write down which equation is which. Done. Since the coefficient of y are equal, we can eliminate y by subtracting the equations. Then solve for the remaining variable. In this case, our remaining variable is x. So I take 5x plus y equals negative 13, and I take 2x plus y equals negative 1, and I subtract the two equations from each other. This gives me 3x, my y's cancel, equal negative 12. Okay, so I then get, rewriting this, 3x equals negative 12. I want x alone, so I'm going to divide both sides by 3, and I get x equals negative 4. All right, this is my answer for x. Determine the value of y by substituting x equals negative 4 into either of the original equations. Okay, so I'm just going to quickly pick an equation here, and I'm going to pick equation 1. So 5x plus y equals negative 13. Remember, always writing the formula down first. I'm substituting x equals negative 4 in, so I get 5 times negative 4 plus y equals negative 13. I can simplify that, and that becomes negative 20 plus y equals negative 13. I want y by itself, so I'm going to I'm going to add 20 to both sides, and I get y equals 20. I get y equals 7, because I've already added the 20 to both sides, and that is my final answer for y. All right, example number 2. Solve the linear system by elimination. I have two equations here. I need to decide what I'm going to do. No terms have equal coefficients, so I can't just add or subtract them right off the bat. Look for a set of coefficients of one variable, so this in our case would be either x or y, that could be made equal by multiplying one or more equations by a constant. So this means a constant is really any whole number. The most efficient option is to make the x terms alike. So if we take a look at x, let me circle the right thing here. If we take a look at our x terms, it's really easy for us to make those terms similar. We're going to multiply equation 1 by 2. It's that simple. The resulting systems of equations is 2 times 2x plus 4y equals negative 4. I then get 4x plus 8y equals negative 8. So what I'm going to do now, There we go. Nope, that's not right. Okay. What I'm going to do now is take a look at this a little bit further on the very next page. Okay, since the coefficients of x are equal and opposite, we have -4 and we have +4, we can eliminate x by adding the equations, then solve for the remaining variable, which is y. Okay, I'm taking my first equation, -4x minus 5y equals 5, and the equation we just made, 4x plus 8y equals -8, and I'm going to add them. Okay, so I'm adding these two equations. My 4's cancel out. I end up with 3y equals -3. Remember, I'm solving for y, so my 3y equals -3 ends up being divided by 3 on both sides, and I end up with y equals -1. Okay, determine the value of x by substituting y equals -1 into either of the original equations. This really doesn't matter. I'm going to use 2x plus 4y equals -4 to remind you that it's the original equation no matter what you do with it. All right, so I'm going to then plug my answer in. 2x plus 4 times -1 equals -4. When I simplify this, this becomes 2x minus 4 equals -4. I want this on its own, so I'm going to plus 4 to both sides. That cancels. In fact, both cancel. And I get, right now, 2x equals 0. I want x on its own. I'm going to divide both sides by 2, and I get x equals 0. And that is the end of example 2. Example 3. Solve this linear system by elimination. Remember, the first thing that we're going to do here is number our equations. So I have equation 1 and I have equation 2. No terms have equal coefficients. Look for a set of coefficients of one variable that could be made by multiplying one or more equations by a constant. Note, each equation can be multiplied by a different constant, so it doesn't have to be the same number for both sides. Remember, coefficient is the number in front of a variable, and constant is a whole number that you can multiply something by. Okay, consider the x terms. The reason we're looking at x is it's fairly easy to multiply into a common multiple. Their least common multiple is 15. To make these terms equal, multiply equation 1 by 5 and multiply equation 2 by 3. Then add or subtract to solve by elimination. So I have equation 1. I'm going to multiply it by 5, and that becomes 3x times 5 minus 4y times 5 equals 5 times 7. Okay. I'm going to rewrite this just a little bit below. This then becomes 15x minus 20y equals 35. For equation 2, I'm multiplying this by 3, so this becomes 3 times 5x minus 3 times 6y equals 3 times 8. This becomes 15x minus 18y equals 24. Okay. So now that our coefficients of x are the same, I'm going to subtract because they're exactly the same sign. So I'm going to take 15x minus 20y equals 35. and I'm going to subtract from that 15x minus 18y equals 24. Okay, these cancel. It gives me negative 2y equals 11. Okay, I'm going to take this and solve for y. So if I solve for y, this becomes negative 2y equals 11, divide by negative 2, divide by negative 2, and y equals negative 5.5. I'm just using this as a decimal because it's fairly easy here. I'm going to put a box around that because that is my final answer for y. I can then take what I've solved for y and substitute that into my first equation. So I'm going to sub y equals negative 5.5 into equation 1. I have my equation 3x minus 4y equals 7. I plug this in, it becomes 3x minus 4 times negative 5.5 equals 7. Oh, now I'm just shifting things strangely at the bottom of the page. This, when simplified, becomes 3x plus 22 equals 7. I'm going to minus 22 from both sides. This cancels. Minus 22. I get 3x equals negative 15. Divide by 3. Divide by 3. I get x equals negative 5. So my solution for this question is y equals negative 5.5 and x equals negative 5. And that's the end.